What's up, world? RJ Ochoa here, staff writer for InsideTheStar.com, the host of the RJ Ochoa Show, and your weekly, bi-weekly, tri-weekly, however often we do these fun Periscope, Facebook Live videos here. And it is Thursday, June 30th, the final day in June, so I hope you got everything you needed to get done this month and that you're ready for July. Jason Pierre-Paul, if you are listening, be very careful this weekend and have a good time, everybody. I hope you're having a fun build-up to the 4th of July. And, you know, normally we come on here and we talk and we have a lot of fun. We talk about different things that are going on. I wanted to come on today and I wanted to talk about my favorite Dallas Cowboys in general, NFL documentaries. That was my plan up until about an hour ago. And Rolando McClain just wanted to mess that up for us, didn't he? He decided that he wanted to do some other things in his life and with his time. And Rolando McClain has been suspended by the NFL for the first 10 games of the 2016 season. Now, this might feel like deja vu, but it's not. Rolando McClain was suspended a year ago for the first 4 games of the season, along with the then big-ticket free agent that the Dallas Cowboys had, pass rusher Greg Hardy. So, we are in a position where Rolando McClain is missing time to begin the season for the second year in a row with the Dallas Cowboys, 2 out of his 3 years as a member of the Blue and Silver. Nobody here is going to deny that Rolando McClain is a great football player when he wants to be. He just doesn't seem to care about being a great football player, which is what the fans and everybody involved have a problem with. Now, as if, you know, this news wasn't bad enough for the Dallas Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence, who was already facing a 4-game suspension. My mom just said, "Howdy, I love you," more to me on Periscope. I love you too, Mom. Thanks for showing me love in this time of sadness for the Dallas Cowboys. But DeMarcus Lawrence, who was facing a 4-game suspension, had his suspension appeal denied. He will be suspended for the first 4 games of 2016. So the Dallas Cowboys are without Rolando McClain, their starting middle linebacker, for the first 10 games. DeMarcus Lawrence, their star pass rusher, for the first 4 games, just like they were last year with Greg Hardy. And to make things even more fun than they were a year ago, Randy Gregory, the second most talented pass rusher on the Dallas Cowboys, is already suspended for the first 4 games. This is really bad, and I'm not trying to... we've got a Facebook comment. Here we go. Kevin Martinez is a Cowboys season ticket holder. I'm starting to get embarrassed by this, and I don't blame you. That's kind of what I'm getting to. This is frustrating. 3 of the 11 starting defensive players for the Dallas Cowboys are suspended. You know, I'm obviously everybody here, you use the internet a lot. You use Facebook Live if you're here. You use Periscope and Twitter. And I'm sure you've seen people that say, Jerry Jones, he likes to hire criminals. He likes to hire thugs. He likes to hire this and that. While that's really mean and not kind to say, this is why people say that. This right here today, this is exactly why people say those things. And today they're substantiated. Today they are right. Today they have a point. This is really frustrating. Rolando McClain particularly. You know, it was not too long ago we were writing about for you at InsideTheStar.com about how Rolando McClain wasn't showing up to the voluntary practices. And yeah, we were reading a little bit too much into that. We were saying, man, this shows that this guy doesn't care about football. It shows he doesn't want to be there. It shows he doesn't want to work hard. Guess what? Today, Rolando, you proved us all right, my man. And this was a really, sad thing for Rolando. We need to all remember here that Rolando McClain is a human being with feelings and a family, and so we don't need to be mean to him. We can be disappointed, but we don't need to be mean. And, this is frustrating. We're talking about it, me and the Inside the Star guys, about how the Cowboys are failing Tony Romo. Tony is in a position in his career, whether you want to believe it or not, where he's at the end of it. And if you want to talk about the so-called window the Cowboys have, this is it. And to not devote more attention and more resources to the defense is an egregious error by the front office of the Dallas Cowboys, and something that I have a problem with. I've talked about it here on Periscope. I've talked about it at InsideTheStar.com or on my weekly podcast, The RJO Show. The Jalen Smith pick, that's what today comes down to. Taking Jalen Smith with the 34th overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft was one word, and it's arrogant. The Dallas Cowboys were very arrogant by taking Jalen Smith. Yes, he's a phenomenal football player. Yes, he probably will come back in 2017. Yes, he's got a nerve issue, and he may never play football again. That risk, whether we want to accept it or not, does exist. So to willingly and intentionally, fully, consciously take that risk when you're at the position that this team is in with Miles Jack or a million other people sitting on the board at your disposal was arrogant. You're assuming, oh, we've got everything that we can handle. We can withstand the heat of not having Jalen Smith or any player with the 34th overall pick contribute to us in 2016. And yeah, it's a cool story. Like I just tweeted this a little while ago. We watch all the videos of Jalen Smith working out. We see his tweets where he says, he's focused and he's, talking to high school kids and he's getting excited. Cool. I'm really excited about that. But that does not help this football team in 2016. That really hurts and really hinders this football team in 2016, which is why I believe it was arrogant. Because, look, you and I were sitting here, we're disappointed in Rolando McClain. And we knew what the Cowboys had in Rolando McClain. The Cowboys knew better than anyone what they had in Rolando McClain, and they took this risk, anyway. They didn't care. They said, we're going to try and thread this needle. We're going to try and get really lucky and hope that everything works out so that in 2017 we can just let Rolando McClain walk and we'll have Jalen Smith and everyone will call us a genius. This is where you're not a genius. This is why people think that you don't know what you're doing. This is why people say that Jerry Jones is one of the worst general managers in the NFL. And I'm not saying that that's true, but this is why people say that. This is a horrible day, and I'm not trying to overreact. The Dallas Cowboys still have a great football team, but now they're putting pressure on a lot of other ways, or a lot of other elements to the team. Man, I need some water, but, the Cowboys, Tony Romo, Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant, that's it. That's who we have that are really, really going to carry this team in 2016. And the Cowboys are cool with that. The Cowboys are saying, hey, Tony Romo, with your aging back, with everything you've got going on, carry this football team. Ezekiel Elliott, 22, 21-year-old kid, carry this football team. Des Bryant, coming back from a broken foot, carry this football team. When are you going to allocate some resources and some serious help to the other side of the ball? Because you know what? We can all make fun of him, but Eli Manning is a competent and pretty good quarterback in the NFL. They have Odell Beckham Jr., who he throws the ball to. The Eagles are what they are. The Washington Redskins, we've talked about this a lot, have maybe the most explosive wide receiver group in the NFL. That might be an overreaction, but still, you have to play defense. And when you don't have guys even on the field, you're already hurting yourself. And it's just a horrible situation to be in, and a disappointing one, and a frustrating one. Because, look, you could have taken Myles Jack. You could have taken Noah Spence. You could have taken a million other guys, like I said, that would have made this news right now not that bad. And yeah, this is sort of something we knew. We already knew that Rolando McClain couldn't be counted on. We already knew that Jalen Smith wasn't going to play in 2016. Ed Werder of ESPN had a tweet yesterday that really ruffled some feathers about it. But this is just, this highlights the ineffectiveness and the arrogance the Cowboys front office has applied to the offseason this year. We've got Kevin Martinez on Facebook who says, if there is one part of our team that doesn't need a setback, it's our lack of ability to get on the quarterback. And that's right. The Cowboys, look, now they're down DeMarcus Lawrence. Now they're down Randy Gregory. And now they're down somebody in the next level. They're down Rolando McClain. Whether you could count on him or not, now you know for a fact you can't. And you know what? We all want to say Sean Lee is the best linebacker on the Dallas Cowboys. That's true, and I'm fine with that. As much as I love Sean Lee, he has shown just last season that he can remain healthy. Is that going to happen again? Are all of you fully confident that Sean Lee is not going to get hurt again in 2016? Of course you're not, because you're smart people. You know that risk exists, and that's what's frustrating. The Dallas Cowboys are acting like they're impervious to these risks, and like these things can't happen to them because they're the Cowboys, and they have the star, and everything works out great, and everything is lollipops and flowers and dandelions, and that is simply not true. The facts of life are that things happen, injuries happen, unexpected things happen, and if you are the Dallas Cowboys, suspensions will happen to you. How frustrating is it that we've got this exact situation literally almost a year later? It was July 2nd, 2015, when Rolando McClain was suspended for 4 games. Today is June 30th. We are 363 days removed from Rolando McClain being suspended, and here we are again, and it's frustrating. But somebody, that was just written about at InsideTheStar.com this week, our staff writer Sean Martin, he's had a series about sophomore Cowboys, guys in their second year. He wrote about Martinez Ochoa, the spark, wonder kid who the Cowboys have a lot of faith in. But, even getting down that road is frustrating. Well, we've got Martinez Ochoa, we've got Damian Wilson, we've got Anthony Hitchens. We have all these lower-level guys that now we are depending on. We're depending on the bottom of the barrel to rise to the top because that's what happened. It's irresponsible and arrogant to take that approach in any facet of life, but specifically in building a football team. You don't see, NBA teams acting like this and having success. You don't see MLB teams acting like this and having success. You have to build a competent team all around. And we've got Gene Garza on Facebook saying, will the cut happen? Look, Rolando McClain, this is his second one-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Probably going to get cuts. Probably his last. And you know what? It's probably his last contract in the NFL. He didn't have a great run with the Oakland Raiders. He had that really short stint with the Baltimore Ravens before the Cowboys traded for him. But I mean, if you were anybody, if you were the joke of the NFL, if you were the Cleveland Browns, if you were the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you were whoever, if you were the Siberia of the NFL in the Buffalo Bills, would you sign Rolando McClain? Would you feel confident? Would you be willing to trust him? I've talked about on here before how I'm working on this price per yard methodology that's all about how many dollars that teams devote to the run game. Would you devote a significant amount of money to the trust of Rolando McClain playing for your football team? No, you wouldn't. We've got David on Periscope saying they would, I feel, LMAO. And you know what? David's right. It's, I feel like the majority of us, we sit here and we say, no, of course we wouldn't do it. That's a silly thing to do. But you know why the Cowboys would? Because it's a silly thing, because it's arrogant. It's arrogant to assume time after time, instance after instance, player after player, that you can be the one to change him, that you can be the one to turn Rolando McClain around. And you know what happens is things feed into that arrogance. The 2014 season, the last season where the Dallas Cowboys had a lot of success, we all enjoyed it 2 years ago, Rolando McClain was awesome. He had all his interceptions. He had the one-handed one in Tennessee. He had the game-clinching one in Seattle. And the Cowboys are sitting back. They've got their feet propped up. They're saying, we're geniuses. We just pulled Rolando McClain. We proved that we can do this. And that's where this mentality of arrogance comes in. And today, June 30th, 2016, is where it plagues them. There's not enough foresight going on here to understand that they're playing with fire. Drew DeCall on Facebook is saying, preach, RJ, preach it, man. You know what? We need a preacher to show up to AT&T Stadium on Sundays, because that's the only way these guys are going to have a chance if they keep playing with fire this way. I'm really passionate about this, and I'm really upset. I know that you're upset. We wrote about this for you at InsideTheStar.com. You can check it out, the post about the suspensions. We wrote about Martin Ochoa, like I said. This week, a bit of a tangent on the RJO show, my weekly podcast. Chris Brockman, one of the producers on the Rich Eisen show, came on. And he was so great. It was such a fun interview. Actually, I split it up in two halves for you. So the first half went out yesterday. You can check it out at rjochoashow.com. You can check it out on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud. You can check it out any one of those places. And Chris Brockman was really cool. He talked about his journey, how he got to the Rich Eisen show, where he's been. He's a military kid. He talked about some funny things about how he took a dig at Michael Crabtree one time on the Rich Eisen podcast. He talked about Batman versus Superman and Game of Thrones. So that was really cool. Part 2 will be posting tomorrow on Friday, July 1st. Tonight, Thursday, June 30th, 2016, the new Amazon video series, All or Nothing, featuring the 2015 Arizona Cardinals will be dropping. And it's something I'm going to be watching tonight. I'm going to be just tweeting my thoughts about it. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'll do it here on the InsideTheStar.com Facebook also as well, and talking about it. And next week on the RJO show, we're going to have Shannon Furman, one of the NFL Films producers and directors. So if you have any questions about the All or Nothing series, if you watch it over the week, just tweet at me, email me, rj@rjochoashow.com. Let me know, and I'll ask Shannon for you. We've got a Facebook comment, Rock Obama, which is a really funny, cool name. When are they going to get Romo a good defense? We've been asking this question since 2006. The 2007 defense was cool, and the 2007 team in general was great. They had 13 Pro Bowlers. Awesome. But again, that feeds into their arrogance. That feeds into the mentality that they know what they're doing and they don't need him. Look, I don't know if I've said this before on Periscope or on Facebook, but I was one of the biggest supporters in letting go of DeMarcus Ware. I acknowledge what he's done for the franchise. I acknowledge what he did in Denver last year. And obviously, hindsight is 20/20. But DeMarcus Ware was not getting it done in Dallas, and that's why the Cowboys let him go. Rick says we need a GM that's not named Jerry. That side of things is debatable, but we need it doesn't come down to just one person ultimately. There's a team of people, there's a team of experts, and they're not making the right decisions. And you look at this, you look at the price per yard that I'm putting together. If you're saving money at the running back position and you're getting that value, where are you putting the money then? The Broncos, speaking of price per yard, the Broncos are one of the best teams at it, along with the Dallas Cowboys. So you figure the Broncos are getting this insane value at the running back position. What are they doing with the money? What's the purpose of saving that money? They're throwing it at DeMarcus Ware. They're throwing it at Aqib Talib and TJ Ward, and they're using it to get good at the places that they're weak at, which the Dallas Cowboys have not done. The Dallas Cowboys have refused to add help. They gave Tony Romo a Hall of Fame, potentially, offensive line, as Jess Haney, one of our staff writers, said. Cool, that's great. Romo, go score 50 points. You're going to lose when the other team scores 51. You have to build. Jimmy Johnson famously said there are 3 phases to this game. There's offense, there's defense, and there's special teams. You can be the best at one of them, but ultimately you have to play all 3. That's the way football works. Those are the rules of the game. and they're not changing for you just because you're the Dallas Cowboys. We've got Drew DeCall who says, come next year, I'd like to see this defense make some real changes. And you know what? You're right. And maybe they will. Maybe that's what Jalen Smith is going to be. But they probably won't. They haven't shown any sort of indication that that's what they're going to do, and that's how they're going to build this team. You look at the defensive stars the Dallas Cowboys have right now. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's suspended. Tyrone Crawford, we saw him break down a bit last year, but we've got some high hopes for him, obviously. Sean Lee, fragile. We don't know if he's going to be healthy again. If he does, awesome, Sean. Keep doing it. Byron Jones. Obviously, the Byron pick was great, but at this point, you could argue that they lucked into Byron Jones. You could argue that they just got lucky because I was talking to Sean Martin about this, about the Cowboys' third-round draft. The Cowboys are great at drafting first-rounders recently. They've got, Tyron Smith. Obviously, Morris Claiborne was a bit of a whiff. They've got, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Byron Jones. Now they have Ezekiel Elliott. But you know what? You know how many picks there are in the first round? There's 32. It's pretty easy to get one of those right. It's still pretty easy to get one of the second-round picks right. Where the draft is hard and where the draft is difficult and where guys get paid to be good at the draft is in the deep rounds. And the Cowboys haven't shown the ability to find playmakers there. Guys like J.J. Wilcox, guys like Terrence Williams, who we've all hated on all offseason, guys like, Joseph Randle are people that they've taken in the third round and beyond. And cool, this year they've got Dak Prescott. This year they've got Rico Gathers. This year they've got Darius Jackson, as David points out on Periscope. That's awesome, but we don't know that Darius Jackson's good. We know that from 2013-ish to 2015, they haven't found a third-rounder who is a great member of their defense. Now they're going to need one to be. Now they need Anthony Hitchens to be a great member of their defense because of their imposed, self-induced arrogance. And it's unfortunate because they have this insane product on the offensive side of the ball. It's like the Cowboys, they have a Ferrari in the offense. The offense is a Ferrari, but they're driving it on cinder blocks right now because the defense holds them back. That's how they roll. We've got David saying we should have gotten Telvin Smith over Hitchens. Yeah, I mean that's hard to argue with. We've got Drew on Facebook saying the 2013 draft looks even weaker besides Terrence Williams and Travis Frederick. That's true. Zach Moore, one of our favorites on Facebook, says Marinelli said Elliott would be the key to his defense. Now it's time to see. I don't argue with this. Zach brings up a good point. If you can run the ball, that is a great help to your defense. Awesome. But how arrogant, again, is it for you to assume that you can do it? How arrogant is it for you to assume, well, just run the ball. It'll be cool. You know what? They know you're going to run the ball. They know that's your plan. People are game planning and getting their own resources to stop that. This isn't news to anybody that the Dallas Cowboys want to run the ball. We've got King Jason on Periscope saying we had Alfred and McFadden, even Dunbar. What was the reason we need to get Zeke? Look, I'm not totally with you on this. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted Jalen Ramsey, but you're right. You could even extend this argument of arrogance into the Ezekiel Elliott pick. You could argue we're already rich, so you didn't need to get richer. You could have gotten a huge playmaker, whether it was Jalen Ramsey or anybody else with the 4th overall pick. It's tough. I mean, like I'm saying, if you really can, if you can say, you know what, everyone knows we're going to run the ball. We're going to come out, we're going to run it down their throats anyway. Then you know what? You deserve to be arrogant because you called your shot, you took it, and you made it, and now everybody else has to deal with it. But the pattern that the Cowboys have shown in the Tony Romo era shows that they don't have the goods, honestly, to back up the claims that they're making. So right now, yeah, Ron Marinelli can say that Ezekiel Elliott's going to help out the defense. Go do it. And if you do, I'll get here on Periscope and Facebook Live and I'll apologize. But right now, the odds are heavily stacked against you. So on a positive note, on Saturday, NFL Network, I'm a big fan of NFL Network and what they do. I love all their programs. NFL Network's going to be putting an America's Team Marathon together. And that makes sense because Monday is July 4th and we are America's team. So all day on Saturday, NFL Network's going to be showing various Dallas Cowboys documentaries and shows. And if you've seen NFL Network, you've probably seen some of them before. They're the America's Game documentary series, which highlight different Super Bowl champions. My favorite of the bunch are the ones on the 71 Cowboys, the 77 Cowboys, and the 92 Cowboys. And then they're going to be showing a bunch of football lives, the Tom Landry episode, the Great Wall of Dallas episode, the Roger Staubach episode. And they have some that are somewhat related to the Cowboys, but not totally. People like Terrell Owens, people like Bill Parcells. And so I think it's going to be a great day if you've got the time or you've got the room on your DVR. I suggest you either watch them live or you record them. I wrote up for you, as we have a link on Facebook for the Facebook Live audience, I wrote up for you a breakdown of each episode. They're going to be airing each episode of everything. And I gave it a 3-star rating, 1, 2, or 3 stars. If it's 3 stars, it means you got to watch it right now. If it's 2 stars, it means you can record it and you can watch it later. And if it's 1 star, it means you can have it on in the background while you do something important. So check that out. Let me know which one you really like of the marathon. We've got Rock again on Facebook saying our secondary has certainly improved, don't you think? You know what? That's true. But, what did we have to improve from? I mean, it was sort of a situation where we didn't have anywhere to go but up. Isn't that true? And again, you could argue they got Byron Jones just simply out of luck as opposed to being able to evaluate him on their own merit. But thank you to everybody for checking out this bi-weekly Periscope Facebook Live. I have a blast. And special surprise, I'll be back here again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about the first few episodes of All or Nothing. It isn't totally a Cowboys-related thing, but I'm really excited for it. I'm really, I'm a big NFL Films guy. I obviously wrote the breakdown for you about the Cowboys documentaries. And just going to kind of give some thoughts. I'll probably be 4 or 5 episodes into it by this time tomorrow. So I'm really excited. Again, if you have any questions about All or Nothing for Shannon Furman, who worked on it, just tweet me at RJ Ochoa or email me, rj@rjochoashow.com. You can get us on Facebook. We've got Hernan Lopez on Facebook. We need pass rushers. The backfield has improved, I agree. We need pass rushers like I need a Diet Coke right now. I'm exhausted. I need a Diet Coke. We need pass rushers like you couldn't believe. It's funny. You look at, if you ranked position groups, just kind of off the top of my head in the NFL, people have done this, different websites over the offseason. If you ranked running backs, Dallas Cowboys probably have one of the best running back crews in the NFL, right? You've got the Steelers up there. You've got the Bills. You've got, some people think the Seahawks and whoever. I think the Bengals are pretty good. If you ranked pass rushers, if you took every team's pass rushers, where would the Dallas Cowboys rank? Probably pretty low, right? They're probably one of the worst teams in the NFL as the pass rushers stand. The pass rusher that they'll have on week 1 at home on September 11th against the New York Giants, they would be pretty pitiful. And I think we all agree with that. Last comment, we've got Drew DeCall back on Facebook saying the 2017 draft, first-round draft pick should be Sidney Jones from the University of Washington. Drew's saying, everybody go look at that dude. Sidney Jones is the name. Let's check out Sidney Jones and see if Drew knows what he's talking about. I bet Sidney's probably a good football player. And I hope the Dallas Cowboys have some good football players to make up for Rolando McClain. If you agree with me that the Cowboys are being arrogant, let me know. You can hit us up on the Inside the Star Facebook, like us there. You can follow me on Twitter at RJ Ochoa. Follow Inside the Star on Twitter at Inside the Star DC. You can follow us everywhere on Twitter at Cowboys Nation. We're on Snapchat, Instagram, Google+. The RJ Ochoa Show, you can check it out at rjochoashow.com. Anytime you want to reach me, talk about anything, life, football, Game of Thrones, Big Brother's back. I'm really excited. You know where to find me. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're here talking about All or Nothing. Everybody have a good one. Till then.